Okay, so hello everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the fourth webinar of this webinar series. The title of today's webinar is Teaching and Researching Sustainable Entrepreneurship and Innovation, where we're going to hear experiences from Warsaw University of Technology. Today we have two faculty from the university, more specifically Małgorzata Schulz. Excuse my pronunciation.
No, it's good.
Okay, she is an assistant professor at Warsaw University of Technology, and she's currently focusing her research on topics related to sustainable development and housing policy. And I'll let her introduce herself in more details. Also, we have Aldona Lucic, Associate Professor at the Faculty of Mechanical and Industrial Engineering at Warsaw University of Technology as well. And she is focusing in her research specifically on Industry 4.0 and energy sustainability in industrial plants. But also, I'll let her introduce herself in more detail later on. This webinar series is part of basically a series under the umbrella of Enhanceria project, which is the project that supports the research and innovation dimension of Enhance Alliance, which is an alliance of 10 universities of technology in Europe. And the whole aim of these webinars are to connect researchers together to discuss these topics and create opportunities for networking. So we will start with Małgorzata. So the
Yes,
floor is yours.
yes, okay, thank you. So, yes, I'm from Warsaw University of Technology, as Alma said, and I start our webinar, our presentation. But at the very beginning, it's important to mention some adjustments made. Since each of us conduct research in different areas of interest, it required some creativity to effectively combine the elements of our research, especially considering the high-level nature of the topics involved. And I chose the topic e-learning as a development tool because e-learning has emerged as a powerful method for personal and professional growth. It offers also flexibility and also accessibility, making our education and skill development more inclusive and adaptable to our individual needs. And this topic is particularly relevant in today's fast-paced, technology-driven world, where the ability to learn and also the ability to adapt is crucial for both personal success and our working management and success in our work. Additionally, I'm interested in understanding how e-learning can be optimized to maximize its effectiveness and to reach ultimately contributing to the broader goal of lifelong learning. And first, I present our agenda. So I start with our presentation. I introduce to e-learning also in the job market. Also, I present selected research results on e-learning impact. Then I show some definitions of e-learning and my research. First, goal of the research, research questions, research methods, research hypotheses, and also selected research results on e-learning impact. And the second part, it's for my colleague, like inspirations to industry and some conclusions. And I started with the introduction. We can ask a question. Are we witnessing a revolution that will change the educational system? If the answer is yes, so to what extent will the role of the teacher change? Teacher, I mean also academic teacher. Hundreds or even thousands of people around the world use online learning. Traditional courses seem to be outdated and also a little bit banal, which is why e-learning is so popular and why e-learning is chosen. Because it offers internet, of course, interactive classes, individual teaching, and learning without leaving home. And the current explosion on the digital technology is not only changing the way we live and communicate, but it also transforming our brain, which is evolving like never before. And that is why the modern school of the 21st century needs changes. School, also high schools, universities. And first of all, modern education is adapted to the requirements of the environment, appealing to the multiplied intelligence of students and taking into account new trends that are an important element of the life of the modern generation. We call them digital natives because they widely use the internet. For them, something normal, crucial, and mobile phones, smartphones. And they grow up in the symbiosis with the virtual world. And this situation requires innovative education systems that will enable students to fully benefit from the developing knowledge society. And here again, both schools and universities cannot remain against them. Trends related to the development of new ones cannot be missed if you are indifferent to them. On the contrary, they can be an ideal tool supporting the teaching process adapted to the requirements and predispositions of modern generations. At the same time, it should be borne in mind the access to equipment and application will not bring the expected changes if they are not supported by new methodologies and changes in the organization of the teaching process. And here you can see the new approach to teaching, which should focus primarily on, of course, teaching needs, but also key competences needed in the digital age. Also, using the potential of modern technologies and mobile devices in education, the same as modern work methods and forms of classes adapted to the needs and capabilities of students. Of course, placed in the academic practice of distance learning. Going further, very short about the goal of the research. So the main aim of the research was to determine students' preferences in terms of forms of study and the university's response to students' needs in this era. I have formulated the following research questions. As you see, the first one, which form of education is more attractive to students, stationary or remote? The second one, how they evaluate the effects of both of these forms. Next one, which ones they would prefer for further study? And the last question, what suggestions do they have to improve distance learning? Here some definitions of e-learning. It's also connected of the necessity of lifelong learning, but one of the new tools that is clearly creeping into modern education is e-learning. Which is, in short, an open, flexible, diverse form of education conducted on the internet, on platforms based on philosophy and the internet. And e-learning raises many social controversies, both in the teaching environment at all levels of education and also among students. This definition in Polish, yes, as you see, e-learning or distance learning is referred to as e-education or distance learning or learning technology that utilize the internet, intranets, and extranets. And e-learning involves interaction between the teacher and the students with feedback. Distinguishing it from simply being a tool to play pre-prepared content, as noted by author Wozniak. And e-learning sources can include various technologies, such of course as the internet, networks, computers, virtual classrooms, online tutorials, satellite TV, mobile devices, audio, video, and other multimedia tools. And the whole teaching process is supported by e-learning platforms like Moodle, which is very popular in Poland, and Sakai, the leading platform globally. And of course, these platforms offer numerous modules that can be tailored to meet the specific needs of both teachers and students. And talking about definition, we can also compare traditional and connected learning. Traditional, as you see here in this table, it's like today's learning and connected learning in the school of tomorrow. So what we have today? Today we have to memorize facts, dates, details, and in the future we will connect to information resources. Now we have to understand processes and phenomena. In the future we will be gathering knowledge on devices. Now we are shaping concepts. In the future we will find or we will be seeking for knowledge. Now we have practicing skills. In the future, we will create and maintain connections. And of course, the school or university of tomorrow, it's more like critical thinking or choosing learning content and making decisions for yourself. Nowadays, we acquiring personal experiences and solving sample tests. Yes, so this is the difference. The research method, as I said before, the aim of the research was to collect students' opinions on the effects of both forms of education, obtain information on the preferred form of studying in the future, and also propose improvements in conducting classes remotely. And in April 2023, a survey was conducted to evaluate two forms of education. This survey included closed and open questions. And the answers were provided by Polish students from the State Higher Vocational School, Mościcki in Ciechanów. So it's not our university, but this state school, higher state school in Ciechanów, also in Poland. These students were participating in stationary and remote classes. And the aim of the study was to collect students' opinions on the effects of both forms of education, obtain information on the preferred form of studying in the future, and also propose some improvements in the conduct of classes remotely. All research was conducted online via the Google platform. It was April, yes, the last decade of April 2033. And about students, they included students of humanities and social science, studying in the third year of master and bachelor studies. And in the whole, there were 250 people who responded to the request to complete the survey. And here, women dominated, 61%. And you don't see this, but the average age was 22, and half of the students took up first cycle studies, and almost half took up master studies. And one important information, the vast majority of respondents work full-time. It were like 82%. And this survey construction, the research was looking for answers to the following research questions, like which form of study was preferred by the respondents, stationary, remote, or hybrid, or how do the respondents assess the effectiveness of online classes. The next one, what would they improve by conducting classes remotely? In what form would they like to study in the future in case of, for example, postgraduate studies? And what actions does the university take to increase the effectiveness of education? I have formulated also 4 hypotheses. The first one, it is assumed that students having the opportunity to compare both forms of education prefer full-time education. Next one, the effectiveness of classes conducted in the stationary form is assessed by students higher than in the online form. Third question, third hypothesis, in order to increase the effect of distance learning, students propose to increase the ability to engage and motivate students to be active during classes. And the last one, in the event of taking up education in the future, students would like to study remotely. And in these 2 figures, you can see the genders of the respondents, but I mentioned these that here women dominated and preferred forms of study. As you see, I hope you see this well, stationary form, it's like 42%, but if we add this remote and hybrid, it will be more, yes, like 58%. So this blended, yes, or hybrid form of education here is dominated. And the selected research results on e-learning impact, and the question which form of education is more attractive to students, stationary or remote. So here the research shows that the respondents who studied both stationary and remotely, when asked which form they preferred, they answered the stationary one. But here it should be noted, however, that the remote form, including the hybrid one, was more popular than the stationary learning. So the same as this further slide, yes, it's like 58 together, this remote and hybrid, and stationary 42%. The same question, which form of education is more attractive to students? Here, when asked about their assessment of the effects of online classes, here the respondents gave varied answers. So the same number of students assessed them as identical to the traditional model, and the same number as worse or even much worse. You can see this identical, it's 34%, and worse, much worse together, yes, it would, it's like 33%. And only 13% are of the opinion that the effects obtained as a result of remote learning are better or much better than in the case of studying in the traditional form. So the first two answers is much better, slightly better. Together, it's like 13%. Next question, what suggestions do they have to improve distance learning? Because they were suggestions due to some imperfections in the conducted of classes, and students suggested many improvements in this area. So the most frequently proposed ones include the ability to interest students more in the subjects of classes, or they suggested also more interesting tasks and exercises, like 34.5%. Also, the ability to engage and motivate students to be active during classes, 31%. It was also suggested to use a faster and more stable internet connection, and also to enable the recording and playback of classes at a later time. And only a small number of respondents, it's not 4%, it's 3.4%, suggested that students' activity should be taken into account in the final assessment. But this motivation point, yes, factor, more something to engage students, motivate them to better participating in these online classes, it's here highly visible. Respondents asked about the form in which they would like to participate later in postgraduate studies. They gave very similar answers as to the previous questions. So remote and hybrid forms are desired by them, and only the stationary, it's like 42%, yes? So we have the same answers. And here, how to evaluate the effects of both of these forms. They said that this survey said that participants' doubts about the quality of online classes, it's here dominating 20%. Also, they had concerns of trainees and students. It's about different form of the education process. And we can also analyze here some information like about costs, like high cost of the software and preparing the e-learning platform by companies, or 8% said that there is still relatively little access to multimedia and the internet among potential participants. And these results, honestly, I describe all the results with these tables, but one more time, as you see, the research indicates that while respondents who experience both forms of learning, I mean stationary, remote, they preferred the stationary form. Remote, including hybrid, was more popular than the traditional stationary form. Yes, so remote, including hybrid, is very, very popular. And opinions on online classes, these opinions were mixed, with equal numbers finding them comparable to traditional classes or worse. And only 13% believed that remote learning was superior. And students suggest improving class engagement and interest, enhancing motivation, ensuring a stable internet connection, and allowing class recordings. And the last for postgraduate studies, most respondents preferred remote or hybrid formats over stationary. Yes, so these are the results of my research. And more time, the question, are we witnessing a revolution that will change the educational system? Or how are modern technologies revolutionizing education? So I give yet now this presentation for my colleague because she will provide this presentation to the end.
Okay, just a moment.
Okay, so I stop share my screen. Yes, it's better.
I can share. I can share. Let me see. Just a moment. No. Let me see. Just a moment. Do you share? Do you see my slide?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go with the in the modern world, the demand for organizing learning quickly and effectively is more pressing than even one. That's why I don't know which slide do you see?
This one with inspiration.
Inspiration, but with notes or without notes?
No, without.
Oh, okay. That's why the growing competition in the educational market has fueled a significant rise in the education in learning across all levels of education. And the fourth industrial revolution offer some solutions characterized by the fusion of technologies that blur the lines between physical and the digital sphere. And the central node of the diagram symbolizes the e-learning ecosystem, which is connected to key technologies like Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, data analytics, and robotic gamification, and many others elements of Industry 4.0 technologies. IoT refers to network of physical devices, such sensors, smart devices, and other connected hardware that communicate with each other and with a system over the internet. And in the educational setting, IoT might include smart classroom with connected devices like interactive board, whiteboards, smart lighting sensor, just to track student engagement. What else? Artificial intelligence can automate the grading process for assignment, quizzes, exam, providing instant feedback to students. And this automatically allows teachers to focus more on instruction and less on administrative stuff or task. What else? Artificial intelligence powered virtual tutorials can provide one-on-one assistance to students outside of classroom hours, answering questions, exploring concept, tailored to students' expectations, students' needs. Gamification involves incorporating games like points, badges, idea, leaderboards, and so on to increase the students' engagement and motivation. Robotics can be used as to teach subjects like coding, engineering, robotics. Itself, of course, students can engage in hands-on activities by programming robots to perform tasks which help develop critical thinking and problem-solving skills. And one of the technologies gaining significant popularity in the education. It's a gamification to increase student engagement and motivation. And let's take a closer look at some example of how this approach is being applied in educational setting. Duolingo uses gamification by incorporating points level, streaks to motivate language learners. Kahoot, very popular at universities as a game-based learning platform where users can create quizzes and students compete to answer a question correctly and very quickly. Classcraft games classification gamifies classroom management by turning students' learning experiences in a role-playing game where they can earn rewards. And peer game, it's an example of applying gamification in the e-learning, which can be integrated with Industry 4.0 concept. Just a moment. The brewery. I want to show the one of the tool to be used within the Industry 4.0 concept tools like beer game, which can be used by teachers to play with students. And one of them, it's a beer game simulation. The Brewery Master game exemplifies gamification by blending strategy, fun, education, and competition. Players learn about the beer market while developing their brand, earning rewards, and competing with others. In this activity, students manage their own virtual brewery, making strategic decisions in production, finance, marketing, strategy to become the top brewer. And the team starts with resources like that really helps brewing equipment and define their market condition, focusing on craft beers with local ingredients. They produce, market, and sell their beer, refining their product based on the customer feedback. The second part of the game is the winning criteria, where success is measured by profitability, market share, customer satisfaction, and innovation. And to achieve these outcomes, teams rely on various tools and resources like spreadsheets to track cost and salaries, and size, feedback forms, just to gauge customer satisfaction, and discussion session to refine, for example, strategies. We can use also project management software just to assign tasks and monitor the whole project. Finally, the game concludes with a reflection phase with teams, where teams evaluate their performance and learn from the experience. Future trends. In the future trends, we can expect the development of adaptive learning system where artificial intelligence will play a crucial role in making courses even more personalized to cater to the unique needs of students. Additionally, there will be increased use of blockchain technology to for the safe storage and verification of educational certificates, ensuring greater security and trust in digital credential like certificates, diplomas, and so on. And furthermore, the development of global competition, of global cooperation, platform will enable the exchange of knowledge and experiences on the international scale, fostering more connected, diverse learning communities. And finally, the research indicates the students have a slight preferences for remote and blending learning option, with 58% favoring these methods over traditional in-person learning. The majority of students express 54% express a desire to continue with distance learning in the future. The trend underscores the growing importance of integrating advanced technologies, such as those from Industry 4.0, into all e-learning ecosystems. And by integrating elements of Industry 4.0 technologies, starting from simple tool gamification, we can enrich the learner experience to better reflect the needs of today's students. And as the e-learning continue to evolve, it promises to offer more effective personal educational experiences. And the synergy between e-learning and Industry 4.0 technologies promises to transform education and better prepare students for future workplaces. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Aldona and Małgorzata, for sharing your insights based on your experiences and your research. Very insightful. And I'd like to invite the attendees to write their questions or comments if you prefer to use the chat or the Q&A function on Zoom, or also simply raise your hand and we will turn the mic for you. But I would like to start with a question, or maybe a comment or a reflection, whatever you want to call it. But like reflecting on sustainability specifically, or sustainable innovation, using the e-learning or like the different tools and the digital learning for sustainability topics. I see great value in especially like when trying to assess the environmental impact of businesses, of choices, of decisions, using AI, using even virtual reality to imagine the scenarios, the envisioned scenarios. I think there is a great potential. I'm not sure if we are already ready to use that, but I think there is a great potential to use AI for this purpose. Do you have any experiences or reflections on that, to use these kind of tools specifically with a focus on sustainability?
This is the question to us, right?
Yeah. If you have any reflections on that, yeah.
I didn't incorporate sustainability in the course, but I will plan in this semester to do it, right? To implement sustainability in my curriculum. This is the first subject, quality engineering, where I'd like to go through starting from the identification of the problem by using quality tools until to finish the project by estimating cost of elaboration of the product, develop of the product or technology. So it's some kind of incorporation of LCA, a life cycle analysis, starting from beginning until to cradle of grave of the product. I don't know. It will be my first time, my first experience with that, starting in October in this semester. So I don't know what will be a result of that. I will see at the end of the semester in June, when I will do retrospection with my students.
Yeah, and I think the life cycle assessment is particularly one of the interesting areas to use these digital tools and artificial intelligence for that, especially that the complexity of life cycle of assessments. It might not be so straightforward for all students, even if we aspire to teach these kind of analysis or methods. It can still be overwhelming for some students, right? So. And I like also the idea of using gamification as well. But back to your research, Małgorzata, I noticed that your research was done after the COVID era,
Yes.
right? Where kind of e-learning has become the new normal. Because I remember when we suddenly switched to digital learning during COVID, because we had to, and we were experimenting with it, and actually, we noticed that the number of registration for courses has increased. Many people were expecting it to decrease, but it was the opposite, because it created opportunities for people who are not in the same city to join the courses. It created flexibility for those who are working, for example, to be able to attend. So it's interesting to see that now it kind of has become the new normal. It is just part of the learning experience. So to what extent do you incorporate these insights and the e-learning in your courses?
Nowadays, yes, you ask. I conducted classes. Not classes. The word. I don't have practical classes. Yes, that's why all of my I meet my students online. Yes, that's why for me it's normal. It's normal. Sometimes we have meetings at the university, and then we discuss something. Yes, or meet face to face. But this online studies, yes, I think it's normal nowadays. Maybe not at all universities, but still postgraduate for sure. Yes, it's very popular. But of course, if you need practice skills, yes, you have to be in place. Yes, it's online. It's only theoretical. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Or for discussion. So that's why hybrid, I think. Yes, hybrid will be dominating.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, when you need hands-on, then it's probably more useful to do it physically on campus. But also, like one of the things, if I'm gonna speak about the sustainable entrepreneurship specifically, I think the physical education or the meeting in person, face to face, also facilitates networking, which is particularly important for entrepreneurship students. If I'm gonna take the focus back to entrepreneurship, they really value the opportunities for networking. meeting face-to-face really increases this, the building the relationships. Of course, you still can build the relationships online, but we all know that it's not the same when it's face-to-face. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's right. The same said the students. So lectures, okay, fine, we can have this online, but we have to meet sometimes. Yes, we have to have contact and feel like a team. Yes, like a group. So yes, it's necessary.
Yeah, I guess like it's there is a great value in keeping the face-to-face and the on-campus education, even though we are increasingly using e-learning and digital tools for the education. I see that there is no further questions from the attendees. So thanks for answering my questions, and thanks again for sharing your insights. Very much appreciated. And so yeah, now I'm gonna conclude this session, and I'd like to thank all the attendees for joining us. And thanks once again, Aldona and Małgorzata, for presenting your insight and the discussion. Thank you very much, and have a nice afternoon.
Thank you very much. See you too.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.